I swear to you I'll never step foot on that land again. The last time I visited my grandparents' house out in Mississippi, something happened that still wakes me up at night. I was just 14 and I thought I knew everything. But I saw something in that house. Something that made me question God, time, and what it really means to be chosen. This is the story of my grandparents, Abe and Sarai. Yeah, I know, weird names, right? But they insisted on keeping them. Said it was prophetic. And if what I saw was real, maybe they were right. My granddad Abe was the quiet type. The kind of man who could sit on the porch for hours chewing on a toothpick just watching the woods. He didn't say much, but when he did, you listened. Grandma Sarai was different. Loud, funny, full of life, but behind her laugh was a sadness that never left. They'd been trying to have a baby for over 30 years. Doctors said it was impossible. Her body was too old. Is too weak. But Abe, he kept saying the same thing. The Lord said we'd have a son. I don't care if we're 100, he gone, do it. That man had faith like it was sewn into his skin. One summer when I went down to stay with them, something changed. It started with a visitor. He came late one night. No car. No footsteps. Just a knock on the back door. Abe opened it like he was expecting him. The man was dressed in all white. Skin pale as bone. Eyes too black to be normal. I hid behind the hallway wall, peeking. They didn't talk loud. But I heard a whisper. This time next year the child will come. Then he turned and walked into the woods. No flashlight. No sound. 1 year later, Sarai gave birth. She was 65. The doctors couldn't explain it. They just called it a miracle and left it at that. They named the baby Isaac, like the Bible story. But we just called him Z. From the start, something was off. Z never cried. Not once. He just stared. Even when he was born, the nurse said he looked like he was studying everyone in the room. He grew fast. Too fast. At 2 months, he could sit up and mimic words. By 6 months, he was walking. At 1 year, he spoke in full sentences. One night, I caught him sitting in the middle of the hallway, just sitting there, mumbling things I couldn't understand. Not gibberish. Something older. Wrong. I started asking questions. Abe shut me down. That boy is our promise. Don't speak against the Lord's work. But Grandma Sarai looked afraid. One night, I heard her praying. Crying in her room. Lord, I asked for a child, not this. Please, not like this. Then I had the dream. I was standing in the middle of their field. Z was there, but he looked older, like 16 or 17. His eyes were glowing and behind him were shadows. Not human. Long limbs. Crawling over each other. He turned to me and said, he was never supposed to wait that long. The promise got twisted. I woke up with blood on my pillow. My nose had bled through the night. The next morning I tried to tell Abe. He just looked at me with tired eyes. Sometimes when you wait too long, even a blessing can turn into something else. That night I left. Never looked back. A few years ago I heard the news. The house burned down. No one found Z's body. Only Abe's and Sarai's, holding each other in the basement. Eyes wide open. Like they saw something they weren't supposed to see. They say a child was seen walking the woods that night. He looked about 17. If you've ever been told to wait on a promise, ask yourself this. What if what's coming isn't what you were promised at all? Be careful what you wait for. Some blessings come at a cost. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. I thought leaving that house would be the end of it. I thought if I ignored the dreams, the memories, the smell of burning wood in the middle of the night, I'd be free. I was wrong. He's back. And this time he's not hiding. It's been 4 years since the house burned down. I moved to Chicago. Got a job at a warehouse. Started going to therapy. Tried to forget. But then a few weeks ago something strange happened. I was coming home from work and this boy, maybe 16, maybe 20, hard to tell, was just standing outside my apartment. He looked straight at me. Same face. Same eyes. Only this time his smile was wider. Like he knew something I didn't. I blinked and he was gone. A day later I got a letter in the mail. No stamp. No return address. Just a folded note. It said, you ran from the promise. But the promise never stopped growing. Come back. Finish what they started. Inside the envelope was a photo. A recent picture of me, sleeping in my bed. I didn't want to go back to Mississippi. But when your nightmares start whispering your name, you don't get a choice. I drove down. The land was still there. Blackened. Overgrown. Like the woods swallowed it whole. But the house was back. Same layout. Same creaky porch. Only newer. Like it had been rebuilt overnight. And on the porch was Z. He didn't look surprised. They buried the wrong promise, he said. You were always part of it. He walked me inside without saying another word. The place was warm. Too warm. Like the walls were alive. Breathing. He led me to the basement door. Same one my grandparents died in. Only now it wasn't a basement. It was stairs. Endless, winding stairs going down into blackness. He stopped at the top and smiled. They asked for life. They didn't ask where it would come from. Then he pushed me. I didn't fall. I floated. Or something held me. I landed in a room lit by candles made of bone. All around me were carvings, symbols I can't describe. Shapes that felt like they were watching me. And in the center was a crib. Inside it was something crying. Soft at first, then louder. But it wasn't a baby. It was every voice I'd ever known crying at once. Z's voice echoed from the walls. They waited too long. Time doesn't like to be tested. It gives, and it takes back. I ran. I don't remember how I got out or how I got back to my car. All I know is when I looked in my rearview mirror, Z wasn't a boy anymore. He was taller than the trees, smiling, and the woods were on fire. It's been 3 days. I've been staying in a motel 2 states away. Every night, someone knocks on my door. Quiet, rhythmic, like a heartbeat. The front desk says they don't see anyone on the cameras. I don't know how long I can run. But if you ever get a promise from something that doesn't feel human, don't wait for it. Let it go, before it finds another way in. Faith kept my grandparents alive. Patience brought them a child. But what came out of that waiting was not holy. The scariest part? It's still waiting on someone else. Maybe you. I didn't want to come back. Not after the house. Not after what I saw in the basement. But Z, or whatever he is now, won't stop. And now I know the truth. I was never running from the promise. I am the promise. If you have stayed to this point, you must be enjoying this story. Like and subscribe to this channel for more. After Mississippi, I moved around a lot. Changed my phone number. Burned the clothes I wore that day. But weird stuff kept happening. Lights flickering. Static on every TV. My name scratched into the back of mirrors. In dreams, worse than before. I kept hearing Abe's voice. You were the answer. But you came too late. I was staying in a tiny rental outside Memphis when I saw her. A woman in white. Same pale skin. Same black eyes as the man who visited my grandparents years ago. She was just standing in the backyard. When I opened the door, she said one thing. You're the seed. He's just the soil. Then she vanished. I dug through my storage unit looking for answers. Found one of Abe's old Bibles. Inside was a folded piece of paper. His handwriting. If Z ever comes before you're ready, run. If he returns when you're full, give him back what's his. What did that mean? I had no idea, until I started feeling sick. I stopped sleeping. My veins started turning dark, like ink was swimming inside me. I could hear Z talking even from miles away. You're opening. I'm almost there. And one night, I passed out. When I woke up, I was back in that basement. The house. The fire. The shadows. Except this time I wasn't alone. In the center of the room stood Z. Still smiling. But now he looked scared. You're awake too early, he whispered. You're not supposed to see it yet. Then something rose behind me. It was me. But not really. Taller. Brighter. Like I was seeing my true self in a mirror of fire. Z backed away. The walls shook. I finally understood. Z wasn't the promise. He was the placeholder. The real promise was me. A voice filled the room. Not mine. Not Z's. The world doesn't wait forever. Do you want to keep this gift, or give it back? Z looked up at me. For the first time he looked human. I don't want to be this anymore, he whispered. So I made a choice. I walked to him, and took his hand. When I woke up I was back in my bed. No fire. No blood. No strange letters. Just silence. I don't know what happened to Z. Or the woman in white. Or the house. But sometimes I feel this warmth in my chest. Like I'm carrying something bigger than myself. Maybe that's what the promise really was. Not a child. Not a curse. But a second chance. They say faith means waiting on something you can't see. But sometimes what's coming for you sees you first. If a promise takes too long to arrive, ask yourself, was it ever meant for you, or were you meant for it? Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more interesting stories.